We serve women who have been sexually exploited. We kind of define that as women who are dealing with prostitution, addiction, or coming out of trafficking. We go to the streets, we go to strip clubs in our city, we go to brothels in our city. So every night that a woman is working, like every other person that stops for her and every other person that sees her, like they're there to abuse her, they're there to use her, they're there to rape her. And we're coming and we're saying, we see you as a person. Like we see you, we love you, God loves you. And then really to try to start a conversation and see like, how can we get you outside of this place and have a conversation? And so I think that's one thing that makes outreach so important. And since the beginning of Created, like outreach was the first thing that we ever did. And it is integral to like the culture of how we operate. We're always looking for the sister that's still out there, like the one who still needs to come through our doors. The next step from outreach is really coming and meeting with one of our staff or meeting with our volunteer. Is saying, are you ready for the next step? Like, do you want to change your life? And if her answer is yes, we're gonna do everything in our power to find an option for her. So that option might look like just coming to our weekly gatherings. So like we have a Bible study every week called Oasis. I just want to eat like 5 cookies right now.
Yeah, I know, they do.
It felt good to know that there's a place. To know that there's people out there that care about you, that don't want nothing from you, that just love you just for you. You know what I mean? And I always want to be a part of Created ever since I got myself together and stuff. Like I want to do something I want to be part of, and that's all my pictures around here.
We offer the women come to our group settings about 2 to 3 times a week. They also meet with one of our staff every week. That's called Created Care. And all of those things, they're getting life skills, they're getting job skills, they're getting spiritual disciplines and learning, and they're getting mentored. Those services are on the same level what the women who are in our housing program receive, which is the Sanctuary, which offers up to 2 years of free housing. Those women are making a full-time commitment to like, I want to heal, I want to be in recovery, like I'm fully committed to this. And so they give up everything and move into our house. And really that whole 2 years is surrounded by like receiving counseling and trauma therapy and taking the steps that are needed to like make changes in their lives that they can move forward successfully. And so some of the ways that we can do that is through the business opportunities that we also offer at Created. So this is an area that we're really looking to grow. But we offer job placement to the women in our boutique, which is just called Created Boutique. And the women that's kind of like usually their first job, and start learning like small job skills like running the cash register, sorting through clothes, and all those things. In the structure of Created, there's a stability there where they're not having to like only work 10 hours a week, but then I'm not sure how much money is coming in, so now I have to figure out where I'm gonna live. Do I like this? Like, what do I wanna do with my life? What do I wanna dream about? What do I wanna be? You know, I think one thing that is stripped away from so many women who have been trafficked or in the sex industry is like, they've lost the ability to know what they wanna do with their lives because all their choices were removed from them. When women are able to come to that place and say like, I do have dreams, like I am really good at making this salt scrub and it's fun, like I want to do this, or like, you know, I maybe don't like working in the boutique, but like I want to do something different and now I feel like I can. So it's like those things give the women confidence that they can move forward in other jobs.
My life is very different. Today I smile and I mean it. I don't feel like I have to be somebody for everyone else. I could just be me, and I'm loved for it.
Me meeting Created in jail in 2007, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, I got 10 years clean in 2 months from being with Created, from being, you know, Created being my backbone, my support. It's been so many times I've wanted to give up, and I've always had a support group.
There's so many ways that people can be a part of what we're trying to do in the city. I think the easiest ways to get involved though is like either to volunteer, to become committed like through, you know, donating time or finances to us, or also just praying for us. It's unseen, but it keeps us going. Like without those areas of support, like we wouldn't be able to operate.
My thing is coming here and being just loved. Like not because, you know, I did this or that, but just because, you know, you guys love me just because. And that to me means the world.
Yeah, so my name is Michael Malpidi. I am the director of Timothy Initiative, which is a ministry that works with broken men coming out of addiction, homelessness, or pretty much any other major life challenges. We are located here in the Bay Area. We have 4 homes. Our main home right now actually houses 16 individuals. And then we also have 3 homes that are recovery homes. We noticed that a lot of people come out of rehab and they don't have a sober living environment to go ahead and transition to. So we created 3 recovery homes where guys still have the opportunity to be involved with our ministry, with the men in the ministry homes. They just work regular jobs and they pay a weekly fee and they have full accountability. They get drug tested, so on and so forth.
What age did you start using drugs?
I don't remember exactly, but it was young. It was probably about 12 or 13 years old.
Dave, what age did you start using drugs?
It was 19 or 20 years old.
Jason, what age did you start using drugs?
On my 12th birthday.
What was your drug of choice?
Opiates, heroin, and painkillers. Throughout the years, progressed all the way through pretty much everything to eventually using heroin intravenously.
How long have you been sober?
4 months.
6.5 years. 5.5 of that is due to prison time. This time I've been sober about 5 months.
You say this time, has there been others?
Yeah, I've tried to get sober several different ways through programs and stuff, and until I accepted Jesus in my life, I never really produced any results.
Is there anything that happened in your life that pushed you towards drugs?
There's been a lot of things. Everybody's got their ups and downs, but a lot of it was my environment, I believe. I was around it a lot. It was easy. It was accessible. It was probably my father leaving me. I didn't have a positive male role model to look forward to, teach me the morals of life and everything like that. So I kind of went to the wrong direction a lot.
Is there anything that anyone could have done differently to keep you from that road?
I believe that I made choices that got me into my ultimate misery, but I learned a lot of my decision making and my sense of right and wrong from my parents, and they learned from their parents, and their vision of right and wrong was skewed as well. So.
Have you ever felt like giving up?
Before I did, now, no.
I didn't feel like giving up. I did give up several times.
Absolutely. My life hit what it felt like was a dead end many times when I was in my addiction. Just felt like nothing was worth going on, but something told me to keep pushing.
Is your life worth living now?
Absolutely. I have a new family here with the initiative. All my brothers. I always have somebody to look forward to.
It definitely is now. I have kids, and this time I want to change. I want to do something better for my kids, family, show them I can succeed and make my life worth living.
Throughout everything, I feel like one of my driving things was to find happiness, or what I thought happiness was, and to find my true purpose in life. And now through Jesus, I'm starting to find that happiness, and I'm starting to find my real true purpose in life, and it's very exciting. It's awesome.
The program started just very organically after I moved into the neighborhood where we now live and where most of the ministry is based. And just from opening my doors to our neighbors and forming relationships with the kids in the neighborhood and the parents. We live over just 3 houses off Nebraska, Florida area. So in that area, there's a lot of homelessness and high poverty. And I just started very organically saying yes to the call that God had on my life of making the move to this neighborhood and then being relational and just loving my neighbors.
The Just Initiative is a ministry, and we really work to create a more just world. A more just city, more just Tampa, a more just neighborhood. In the Just Initiative, there's really 3 different areas that we work in. The Petra House, a residential program for homeless single moms and their children. The Zone, which is the brain training program. And then we work in the community in a lot of different areas in the community with people that are experiencing poverty and homelessness. In those 3 areas we work, our 3 focuses are stable housing and further education and increased income. And through those things, we want to usher in justice. We want to break the generational poverty that's been happening in people's lives. And we want to allow God to use us to do those things, to actually follow in the steps of Jesus when Jesus said, when he first said that he came to proclaim good news to the poor.
Petra House has been wonderful. Like, it's been amazing. When I first moved in, I was broken. I lost all trust in God. I mean, just going through the classes and talking to Julie, Casey, Miss Jackie, it's like they brought it back. Like when I was going through my time of need and stuff like that with my court situation and everything, Miss Julie used to send me scriptures. She used to pray on the phone with me. Casey used to pray with me. They was my support through anything that I decided to do. It's just, I never had that in my family life. It was always, you have to do it or else. But I never had anybody that stayed on my case about school, about getting a job, and just learning how to love God again and seeing how wonderful he is and the things that he do in your life. They made me feel like a part of the family. They supported me through kids acting up in school, my depression, my anxiety, just a lot of things that I've been going through in my life that's actually, as I sit and think about it, just been coming up, and it's been wonderful. It's amazing. I mean, the house is warm, it's loving, it's a place where you can call home.
I'm amazed every day of just what God is doing and how he's brought people together and started just forming this community that we have. That's really our heart, is to expand the community of, it's across racial divides, across typical economic divides, and just really to build that type of community, because I truly believe in what we're seeing is that when communities built like that, then pathways out of poverty start to happen naturally as those relationships are there. And that's pathways out of economic and physical poverty, and also pathways out of people that are in emotional poverty. I'm very thankful for how Palmacia actually teamed up with us last year to help us build out another bathroom in our residential program that was highly needed. We actually did 1.5 new bathrooms. I have a passion for it, and it would just be awesome and so impactful for so many people for us to be able to in the future start some social enterprise businesses where we're actually not just having job skills training classes, but can do on-the-job training, helping people break through just various challenges and barriers that people have towards employment. I mean, our heart is just to see people having opportunities and pathways out of poverty, and for community to be formed. In whatever way God leads us in those directions, that's what we're all about, is trying to just follow the Spirit as he leads.
Unloading the cars, Alma pointed to the dark shape sleeping between the concrete walls, hidden from sight. She placed a bag quietly by his side, then walked away. As we approached the river, Dana waved. "They're here," Allison said. Holly and Greg were closer to the water, evidence of a difficult week etched on their faces. As Greg took his bag, I noticed the dirt caked on his hands. We had to move. They said we couldn't stay under the bridge or the grassy spot. We came back down here. Holly sighed as she shook her head. "Until they make us move again. But we're okay. Here, have some hot coffee, some food. And I brought your blanket. How about a mat?" It was obvious much had been lost as they had moved from place to place. Greg reached into his bag and shared his banana with Holly. "I've been trying to walk more. I'm doing better," Dana smiled as he took his coffee. "And guess what? I have an appointment with an oral surgeon. I'm going to get my plate fixed and I can eat again. Next time you'll see my beautiful smile." And he laughed. Further down, we saw a dark form and left a bag. As we moved on, he raised his head and waved, then came to us. "I'm Rick. I came down from Nebraska Avenue to meet you ladies. I always miss you. Someone stole my rosary, but God is still with me. Bless you, ladies." And he took his hot coffee. "Would you like a shirt, a blanket, some pants?" "Oh, yes, thank you. That's perfect," he said as he returned to his blanket by the water. "Jeff, here's some coffee and some food. Are you okay?" His gnarled hands took the blue bag and he grinned. "I'm hanging in. Thanks so." Others along the sidewalk took the warm liquid and food. "Sylvester, here are the shoes. Gia got you a pair." "Oh, thank you so much. These are great. Do you have any clothes?" He smiled as we handed him t-shirts and pants. "There are socks in the bag, and here is some coffee." On the bench, and James stood by them. Chris immediately began speaking on the most recent changes in D.C. as his political knowledge is evident. Vince and Tim walked up with their friend. "Vince, you look really tired." "I am. My knee is killing me to walk. First my heart, now this, but I'm scheduled for surgery in 10 days. They said I'd be in for 5 days. Then we'll do rehab. I can't wait." He took his coffee and smiled. "Thanks, so. I'll see you next week, but then not for a while." Tim took his bag and said to Allison, "Someone gave me some money. Vince is always sharing with me, so I got us a room for a few days to help him." His friend reached over and took some books. "He's our reader," Tim laughed. Before we reached Curtis Hickson, we saw someone new sitting by the water. "Would you like some coffee?" "I'm Oscar. I'm from Chicago, and the coffee would be great. Bless you." And he took the liquid and the bag as well as the blanket and shirt. Mark, Tom, and Tim and Robert came down as they saw us. Mark looked tired, beaten down. "Here's your hot chocolate, Mark, and the glasses you asked for. Are you okay?" He looked at me, really looked at me. I thought last week was going to be the best of my life. I was offered a job by someone I met here who talks to me every day. I was on cloud 9 on Monday. What happened? I need my Social Security card and an ID. My ID expired on my birthday in Connecticut. I can't get an ID without a birth certificate. I can't get a birth certificate without an ID. I can't get a Social Security card without a birth certificate. The resource officer can't help me as I'm not from Florida, so I can't work at a real job. Oh, Mark, I'm so sorry. Don't lose hope. Hope is all I have, and he shook his head. You have us, you have your friends. Without you ladies and those who helped me, I don't know how I would have made it this far. And he shook his head.